Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and thank you for watching our series on the kings of medieval England. In our last episode, we examined the reign of Richard the Lionheart, a king remembered for his military campaigns abroad and his limited involvement in the governance of England. Today, we turn to his brother and successor, King John, a monarch whose failures led to the collapse of the Angevin Empire and the birth of the Magna Carta. His reign is one of the most controversial in English history, so let's begin. John was born on December 24th, 1166, at Beaumont Palace in Oxford. He was the youngest son of Henry II and Eleanor of Aquitaine, and unlike his elder brothers, John was not expected to inherit significant lands. This earned him the nickname Lackland. According to Ralph V. Turner in his book King John, John was initially given no major holdings, reflecting his precarious position in the family hierarchy. Despite this, John was favoured by his father. Henry II attempted to secure lands for him in Ireland, declaring him Lord of Ireland in 1177. But John's expedition to the island in 1185 ended in failure. He reportedly offended the local nobility and made little progress in consolidating English control. When Richard I became king in 1189, John was granted several counties in England and recognised as his heir presumptive, since Richard had no legitimate children. However, tensions emerged when John tried to seize power during Richard's captivity in 1192 to 1194. After Richard's return, John was temporarily reconciled, but the king reportedly declared that John would not have succeeded him if he had lived longer. Richard died on April 6, 1199, and despite some support for Arthur of Brittany, the son of John's older brother Geoffrey, John was crowned at Westminster Abbey on May 27, 1199. John's reign began with a war for control of the Angevin dominions. Arthur of Brittany, backed by King Philip II of France, posed a serious challenge to John's authority, especially in Anjou and Brittany. The conflict culminated in Arthur's capture in 1202 at the Battle of Mirebeau. Arthur then disappeared under suspicious circumstances while in John's custody. Many chroniclers, including Ralph of Coggeshall, accused John of having Arthur murdered, while modern historians like W.L. Warren in King John caution against assuming guilt without direct evidence. The incident damaged John's reputation and gave Philip II grounds to declare his French lands forfeit. By 1204, John had lost Normandy, Anjou, Maine and Touraine to Philip. This marked the end of the Angevin Empire. As Nicholas Vincent notes in King John New Interpretations, that John's poor diplomacy and inconsistent military response accelerated this collapse. His inability to secure loyalty from his continental vassals was a major failure. After losing most of his French territories, John focused on consolidating his rule in England and the remaining lands in Gascony. He implemented administrative and fiscal reforms, but did so in a way that alienated both the barons and the church. John's financial demands were severe. He levied scutage, which was a tax paid in place of military service, frequently, and extracted money through fines, feudal dues, and royal justice. As historian David Carpenter explains in The Struggle for Mastery, that John raised vast sums, over £60,000 in scutage alone between 1199 and 1214. But this bred resentment. In 1205, a conflict arose with Pope Innocent III over the appointment of the Archbishop of Canterbury. John refused to accept Stephen Langton, leading to his excommunication in 1209 and England being placed under interdict, a suspension of religious services. He eventually submitted to the Pope in 1213, surrendering the kingdom to papal overlordship and receiving it back as a papal fief, a move designed to secure papal support against rebellious barons. In 1214, John attempted to reclaim his continental lands with a military campaign in France. The campaign failed, culminating in the defeat of his allies at the Battle of Bouvines on July 27, 1214. This was a turning point. The defeat destroyed John's credibility with his barons. By 1215, a baronial revolt was underway. The rebels marched on London, and John was forced into negotiations. On June 15, 1215, at Runnymede, John sealed the Magna Carta. This document, drafted with the help of Stephen Langton and the barons, placed legal limits on royal authority. It addressed grievances related to taxation, justice, and feudal rights. Although John agreed under pressure, he never intended to uphold the charter. he appealed to Pope Innocent III, who annulled it, declaring it not only shameful and demeaning but also illegal. Civil war followed, the First Barons' War. In 1216, the rebels invited Prince Louis of France, son of Philip II, to invade England. Louis landed and was declared king in London by the rebels, though he was never officially crowned. John died on October 19, 1216, at Newark Castle, likely of dysentery. He was buried at Worcester Cathedral. His 9-year-old son Henry III succeeded him, and the Civil War gradually ended under the regency of William Marshal. So, how should we remember King John? Historians agree that John was a deeply flawed monarch. He was intelligent, literate, and administratively capable. But he was also mistrusted, vindictive, and often politically short-sighted. As Ralph V. Turner argues, John's reign demonstrates the fragility of kingship when not supported by charisma, military success, or popular legitimacy. While his failures led to the near collapse of the Plantagenet state, his legacy includes the Magna Carta, a document that evolved into a foundational text of constitutional governance. King John's reign was marked by political failure, foreign loss, and civil war, but it also marked a turning point in English political development. The Magna Carta, born from his misrule, became a lasting symbol of accountability and limited government. In our next episode, we'll look at his successor, Henry III, a child king who would reign for more than 50 years and face the challenge of rebuilding royal authority. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for the next chapter in the story of medieval England.